stuff. So this is a Vulcan skull panel. Things will get broken, people will get hurt. There, right there. Wait, Eric, raise your hand. There he is, back there. Those two people right there. So folks, we're here to talk about comedy, from what I understand here. Am I correct about this? Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to do something. It's very unusual. We're going to break the fourth wall. And we're going to ask for your help at the end to put everything right. Okay? All right, here we go. So all of you people, stand up right where you're sitting. Stand up. Okay? Turn around. Pick up your chair. And move it out like I'm a bomb and this is the epicenter. Boom! Move the chairs out. Pick them up and move them out. There you go. Gotta go somewhere. There you go. Okay, come on down. Okay, you know what? Stack on top of each other. Come on, stack them up. Stack on top of each other. There you go. We are terraforming this room right now. They're nicely done. So try to take those stacks a little bit further out. Let's get them out of the blast radius.
We've been known to break things, and we're trying not to this time.
You're good. Here. We'll be playing in this space right here. Okay, now, everybody, now find yourself a chair and sit down in the round. Yeah, doesn't it feel good? Get up.
The guy set up his camera. And not
Second chair.
here. You want to come right here?
I got it.
Look at this.
Now we can talk.
Here we are. So, Jason, what does comedy mean to you?
Comedy, folks, is a form of organized chaos, as we said before, okay? You can't know exactly what's going to happen next. The world itself, we are taught from the time we are small children, has rules, okay? There's a place and time for it, everything. Are you not told this from the time you're a small child, right? And the fact that the whole reason comedy works is because that's BS! That's crap! The world does not succumb to rules. So when rules are broken, and people are broken subsequently because of it, we are happy, okay?
Yeah, but yet we wouldn't have a civilization without rules.
Absolutely. And so what we need to do is we need to have those constraints that are thrust upon us as animals, because we are all animals here. Especially like there's a guy over there that looks like he's a giant pulsing heart. Hey, he's an animal. Yes.
I'm a giant pulsing heart.
Well, you are my heart, and you're outside of my body. So what we find actually is that this is the place to exercise our demons. We are given these constraints so we can get along, okay? We play around so that we can actually exercise that out, just like Boy would want to say. You get those demons out. But it's got to be done with love. And you got to know that when comedy, as all good acting is, number one, is other-directed. It's not about me saying, oh, the problems that I have. Oh, I love the, oh, God, I'm horrible. That's not entertainment, folks. That's not acting, that's therapy.
You're wearing Jack Daniels underwear.
Thank you.
That is entertainment.
And the moment Paulie shares with me my jacket, check this out.
Whoa!
Well, I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Wait, we want to see.
Thank you. Again, creepy. Lovable.
came with a bottle of Jack.
She says she's a cougar. You see what We've already talked about the most uncomfortable thing.
No, you're a puma.
We've talked about the most uncomfortable things we can see. Me! Some guy that really looks like a predator, something you're going to see in the French Quarter late at night if you cross the street. Or to a woman that is probably any one of your mothers.
Hey!
We have a wonderful moment. We are confessing, we are opening up to each other,
So
and
to
making
speak.
society work. So, man, I haven't waited.
So,
Attention to me.
so part of that rules-based thing in our culture is that. So part of that rules-based thing in our culture is that we have communication rules, right? Don't spoke until spoken to. To get your thank yous and your welcomes. Well, we've got a great way to subtract a lot of what makes doing comedy difficult, which is dialogue. Now, when Narvy was talking about being an animal, imagine every sound that you make in this panel when we ask you to help us out is gibberish. Not allowed to speak. You can speak, but you can't say any words that mean anything. Okay? Now, what this is going to do, it's going to free you from the needs of that dialogue structure. Okay? So, I'm going to ask for some brave volunteers. Some strong, brave volunteers that can get on the ground and get a little wiggly. All right. If you have your hands up, just come on in the center. It's okay. I can come on in. So right here in the center. Now, the guys line up kind of like shoulder to shoulder. Okay? There you go. Double stack it. Let's get a few. Okay, now go ahead and sit down. Okay? All right, now I'm going to move a couple of you. So you guys come on. Fill in over here. There you go. Okay, now you got to turn around and face each other. Okay? Now I need somebody who's really light and doesn't weigh a lot.
Biggest guy in the room, anyone couldn't see that too. That's you. What you thought was the Eiffel Tower going up was this man.
Okay, so get rid of all your hardware. Get rid of everything that's going to break and piss you off later that you did this. Okay? There you go.
Take it off.
I should probably take off my shoes.
No, you can keep them on. It's all right. So I need a chair. Oh, look, here's one. There's a lot of chairs around here. All right, so there's a game that Jason and I used to play when we were kids, and it was called Buddy! All right? So come on over, brother. You're the buddy. All right, now, make enough room in the middle, guys, for this chair to pass.
Maybe not there, boy.
And you guys are the motion of the ocean. Okay? So we're gonna do a test. You're gonna grab the legs of this chair. So you might want to clear them a little bit. You might want to be up on your knees because you'll be able to get more leverage. And you're gonna pull him down the river. So working together, start with that leading chair leg, right? And just yank him that way. Just be slow and easy. Now, slow and easy. Now, pass it on. Now, reach in. Give him a little something. There you go. How's that feel, dude? This is how Six Flags Magic Mountain started. Now, I need another light person. Okay? Somebody. Who is it? Somebody
No,
who's
you
that?
do not count, sir.
Okay, so let's move him right back to the middle, okay? That's clear. All right, can I get another boat, please? Another boat. We're gonna back it up right here. Let's sit down right here, back to back. There you go, all the way over here. There you go. Oh, she's a lot easier, huh? Yeah? Okay, now watch your fingers when you do this, okay? Now, you have to face that way, okay? Now, guys, you guys are taking him over that way, and you are gonna take her over this way, but very slowly. Okay, now, you've been cast into a river. Oh, slower. Bring her back. And all you want to do is reach out and get her. Right? So, come on, look back at each other longingly. And go on. Let's start the river. Oh, you got to reach out for her. You got to reach out. Oh! Now, come on, now, you can take her back. We don't have to go all the way. Now, you remember the key line in this, but we're not allowed to use real words, right?
The key line is
And we want this movement to be like this slow. This slow. Okay? Because what we're doing is we're taking a beat, we're taking a tension moment, and we're stretching it into an eternity. Okay? And I want to hear your... Let's do a practice run. Where's your buddy? Pretty good gibberish. How about you? Thank you very much. But you know what? You gotta look at each other, and you gotta mean it. Okay, so actually, let's move both a little bit further this way, so you guys will have a little let's go this way. Yeah, other way. There you go. Good. Now you guys got this. She's so light as feather. Okay, now I'm gonna give you the action call. Okay, and when it's on, you're in the river. Now you guys are water, right? Can I get a little water thing going on? Okay, a little lower so we can see our principal actors. And action. Slower. Slow. Let's hear it.
Let's hear it! Louder! Commit! You want her! You don't want her to go away, brother!
All right. You want in?
Come on.
All right, hey, you're fired. Showbiz is rough, man.
Okay, I'm going to jump in a comment right here so you can see something that we're seeing, folks. This, to me, is always the fun part, okay? The comedy is the fine line between absolute euphoria and absolute disaster. It's tragic. These two people want each other so much, and they're being slowly pulled apart.
Let's take him to the middle.
Bring them together. The funny thing about it, of course, is the situation of it. How long this is stretched out, and how futile are their cries.
So now you're
That's
brothers,
the funny part
right?
of it. Okay?
You're brothers, and you don't want to be separated in this river.
And remember, the only way you think by screaming at him, you may somehow magically be able to get back to it. So the more you are pulled away, the more you want to get closer. All right, brother? You got it? You got it? Let's do this.
And slowly, action. Scream it!
Scream it! Really grab for it! Really grab for him! Really grab for him! Really grab for him!
That's pretty good gibberish. That's pretty good gibberish. All right, now let's flip it around. Now you guys stay here. You're gonna come back towards the center, but one of you is infected with the zombie virus. You. And you would really rather not get close to him, but you're not allowed to get off the chair, right? But you still are like, woo! All right, so let's bring him back together and action.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Nice job.
Nice job. All right, folks. So, now we see what happens when two people want the same thing, okay? First thing they wanted, what do they want? They just want to be together. Buddy! Second time, they want two separate things being pulled apart. The key to any good acting is having characters that believably want something. Okay? And as actors, you don't pretend you want it. For instance, I'm going to pretend that I want Polly to come to me. Buddy! But if I really want Polly to come, I'm going to reach, Buddy! Mission accomplished. Now, as you know, of course, Bulk and Skull go back to an ancient, fat and skinny guy paradigm, right? Paul, of course, was the best skinny guy I ever knew. I myself was the worst fat guy. Okay? But of course, Laurel and Hardy, we talk about them a million times. Abbott and Costello. Goes back to Andrew Aguirre and Sir Toby Belch, Prince Twelfth Night by William Shakespeare. It's always gone. Sometimes this guy is also known as the straight and the funny guy. Okay, the straight guy plays the I really want my buddy back, buddy! The humorous guy was the little kid right there that didn't quite know what the other guy wanted. So the way we've seen it is one person, in this case, Bulk, was always the guy that had the big ideas. And he knew exactly where he wanted. And the problem was he was a little bit lazy. And he always had Skull to do it. But Skull was the stupider of the pair. Skull didn't understand a damn thing that Bulk said. He wanted to make Bulk happy at all times. And would do anything he could to make him happy. And when he didn't, what would Bulk do? Boom! See ya.
Or the threat of violence would be implicit.
The absolute threat of violence would make Skull scampering for the hills. So what we want to do is, we're going to need 2 more volunteers. We need a fat guy and a skinny guy, so to speak. You were already the fat guy for about 20 years. All right, this guy says, look, I really am. So then I will need a skinny guy. I'll take the skinny man right here. Give a round of applause. So what we are going to do is we're going to have the fat guy want something. But the skinny guy is going to have to do it for him, okay? Now, of course, as we talked about before, language. Language sometimes gets in the way of comedy, all right? For instance, if he, let's see, you're the fat guy in this case, if you wanted the skinny guy, what are your names again?
James.
James and Drew. James and Drew. If James wanted Drew to do something for him, what could he do? He could simply ask, James, could you ask Drew to pick up the chair for me?
In gibberish, gibberish.
Okay, so he knew exactly what he wanted because he had some asshole called the director me tell him. It was amusing, but was it really funny? No, not really. So this is what we're going to do. Our skinny guy is going to go out of the room. If you could please excuse us for a moment. And we are going to come up with something for him to want that he's going to make him to achieve. Okay. Keep going! You're skinny, you can run! Paul keeps telling me that all the time. I can't run. Okay, he's out. Can you hear me?
I run when there's fire.
Well, yeah, but you usually make me start the fire.
Oh, that's true.
So let's find something that he can make him do that might be a little bit on the difficult side.
Get a girl's number.
Comedy and tragedy already. Okay? I heard get a girl's number. What's another one? Steal the hat.
For a physical object, yeah.
Anything else? Yeah.
Give Paul a hug.
Do a sit-up.
Do a sit-up. How about all the above? Yes, steal the hat.
Gangnam Style.
Okay, so do a game style. Here's what we're
Somebody with that song on their phone, take it over to the sound man. We're going to pump up the jam.
So you have to get him to do it. But you can only speak in gibberish. And anytime he does it, you have to threaten him with violence. Don't really hurt him, folks. What happens on film, these are special effects. We are trained stuntmen. Paulie rarely hurts me on camera. This is in our private time, though. Okay, so that's what you're going to do, all right?
Who's got that song on their phone? Somebody's got it. I think I got it. If you got it, go on over there.
All right, you tell me to get Drew and bring him back in.
There you go. Thank you.
Get back in!
Okay, so he's going to have to do... Your job is to make him happy, whatever he wants. Fear of death and violence. Gibberish only. Gibberish only. Use the whole room, okay? Do not feel obligated to stay in one place. Go.
Come on. Who is it?
I thought I saw something in the back. Give the hand down. Right there, girl. Come on up.
There she is.
Come on, give her a round of applause.
So, part of an exercise like this is about building the obstacle, right? The obstacle is the key. So it can't always be roses, right? You have to have a moment where, who's the bully? You? Yeah, I know, typecasting's a bitch, ain't it? Where she's not really pulling her weight, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You know?
Don't be afraid to yell at her with your gibberish. Let's try to yell. Could you yell at her for me? Quack! Quack! Very good. I think you can yell a little louder than that. Quack! That kind of scares you. Quack! But it's also cute. It's like a duck. Scare the crap out of her. Paulie, if you could show her how to quack properly.
I'm hooked on vowels.
Give it a shot. Never getting there. That is fun. Give her a round of applause for that. You have to quack until she gets it right. Sound good? What is your name, by the way?
Justine.
Justine, give her a round of applause. And your name is? What is it? Elaine. Give her a round of applause. So, let's come up with something a little more difficult this time.
All the way out. You go.
Go now. Awesome. So let's go up. Keep going! No, we couldn't have got a smaller room. Okay, cool. So let's come up with something cool. Let's come up with a couple things that are a little more difficult for her to do. But we're not going to help her out this time. What is that? Have her do a somersault.
Look at her
That's a good one. Somersault. What else? Touch Paul's butt. I like that. It's actually fairly easy.
Have her look at herself.
Great. Somersault and touch Paul's butt. Sound good? That's what you got to get her to do. Paul, let's have you do somewhere else.
What? Oh.
All right, bring her back. The moment she comes in, start yelling at her. Get the hell out of her. It works really well on me.
She's in.
Thank you very much. Nice job, ladies. Give a round of applause. So, folks, so many people think that acting, and especially comedy acting, is just about basically going right for the goal. It's about trying it out, trying different tactics, overcoming obstacles to get it right. What was the funniest part of the whole thing? It wasn't when she touched his ass. When she touched his tuchus. It's when she went. That, by the way, was legit. She wasn't acting. She didn't know. Oh my God, you want me to do what? That is comedy with the game, folks.
So, situation comedy is, we use that sitcom word a lot in media. But, it basically means, like, galloping at this between two ferns. An uncomfortable situation, which is made even more uncomfortable by extenuating circumstances or conditioning forces such as proximity or affectation or any one of a number of things that can affect the moment. So, you know, one thing about all those appetite comedies, they do that uncomfortable thing very well, right? Long pauses in uncomfortable circumstances. So let's play with long pauses in uncomfortable circumstances. So I need 2 volunteers. It's you. Come on up here. Now, I have extreme BO today. I want you. Come on up.
I love how when Paul said, I have extreme BO, suddenly I saw more hands go up.
Well, I know, I'm in a select club today. Now, I am the stinkiest dude you have ever met in your life. And we're on a train together. The train's going that way. And we're like... But you really are trying to tell her that. But, of course, I'm standing right here, right? Would you give us a go call?
Yeah.
Come on.
Ready, and go!
Long pauses in extraordinary So reacting to physical circumstances is somewhat easy when there's a big old fat armpit in your face. Sound familiar?
Oh my God, my life was an uncomfortable armpit in my face.
Now what I love about situation comedy, and the thing that makes it funny, are the disconnects with our socially accepted, mores, everything that we know to be socially acceptable. Like really bad relationships.
Yeah.
People that hate each other and have to stomach each other. So, hey, what's a good physical exercise we can do then? Not a trust exercise, but one that will give people a chance to interact.
A good physical exercise that will give people the opportunity to interact.
But not trust.
But not trust.
No, that's too easy.
Oh Lord, that's a tough one.
Wait, you gonna look one up?
No, I wasn't going to look it up. I'm in my pocket.
Holding a light person up in a chair.
That's pretty good.
That's a good one.
Mazel tov?
Mazel tov. No, that's a terrible one. There's always a give and take, I like to think. Okay, whenever you're working with someone, okay, that you know you're going to spend your time with, and you have to be able to take those opportunities to find natural beat pauses. Okay, the moment where it's the dugga 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 dugga. Is Paulie going to pause before he goes in my armpit or not? Okay. This sounds a little corny and cheesy, I guess, but you actually have to get down into their sense of balance, into their sense of core, I think. You literally have to know how their body reacts, okay? Let me get about 6 volunteers. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you get some people over here. 5 on the thing.
So in Power Rangers, we do a lot of physical work where we're reacting very closely or acting off of those physical moves. And over the years, a really great a dialogue developed between us so that we had our own little physical theater toolbox that we would use. And it was a lot about balance. So you can imagine if you're next to a person and you see them start to move, there's a moment where you're opposing or you're attracted to.
And you need to be completely in tune with them. For instance, why don't we do the old lift above the head?
Oh yeah.
Paulie, just about any day of the week, might come up to me and suddenly I'm going to have to do some horrible things because he's going to do some horrible things to me. I won't even have to prepare for it. You just saw I know. And you're weak. What you actually just saw was Paulie basically do this and me lift myself on Paulie. I simply recognize Paulie's set, grab, and his lift. Okay? That's all I recognize. Is what we call the set, grab, which I react to, set, grab, and then now he sets up, and I see where his body's at. And all I do is I take his hands, and I pull him right to me, and hold him tight. Boom! Okay? We would have to do this stuff all the time. People ask us about how much we used to improvise on Power Rangers. As you've seen today, improvisation is not simply the words you say. It's the way that your body moves.
It's everything.
It's everything. So I'm going to show you guys some very, very remedial, basic balance exercise that we use in stage combat class. Okay. So if I can have groups facing 1, 2, 3. You guys are 3 groups. Face your partner like this. Okay. Yeah, face them directly. Okay. And what you're going to do, all balance is about getting a low center of gravity. I like to say, are there any children in the audience? Close your ears, young son. I saw you have a set of iron balls just hanging down. Firmly from your skirt. And spread your legs wide. A little bit wider than your shoulders.
I need a bit wider now.
Now, here's the thing. All balance is also predicated upon the fact, at least in stage combat and physical comedy, that you're not leaning too far forward, too far back. It's straight up and down. So your body, from the waist up, is straight up. Just like this, okay? And this does whatever the hell it wants. Okay? And this doesn't move, which is really helpful too, because if you have something you're like, dude, I'm not nervous at all. I don't have there's nothing wrong with me. I get through it, okay? So when everyone find that balance, get themselves nice and low that you guys can lift up either one of your feet and your head doesn't do this. If you're too high, your head's gonna do this. If you're too low, like, oh God. So you're way out here. Now this is what you're going to do, okay? One person in each group is going to be the leader. Raise their hand. Me! Paulie's going to be the leader in this case. What you're going to do is try to push that person across from you off balance. What? Okay? It's not about throwing them down. It's not about getting them to the ground or overcoming them. It's that they can feel when you're going to basically push. So at some point, Paulie's going to push, and I'm going to let my arms go, and I'm not going to go anywhere. So Paulie has to not come forward. I have to not go back. So it looks something like this. And you can do it quick. I'll be the leader on this one. And you can do this quick too. Let your hands go as soon as I. Okay. He's got good balance. He knows no matter when it comes, he ain't going anywhere. Does that make sense? The moment he firms up, go ahead and firm up now as I go to push. Oh God. Yeah! Okay. Give it a shot, folks. So, nice and easy. Spread those legs wider. And whenever, the leader will push. And you'll notice this is the, like Kung Fu Zen thing. People always ask us, should you guys take martial arts? They cross over, for God's sake. It's about taking care of your body. Okay? And don't overexert yourself.
Is that weird? Does it feel weird?
Nice. Get a little bit lower. All about the gravity, baby.
If anybody has to spontaneously go to the bathroom, it's okay. Garfield, explain it.
If you guys are going to be working closely with actors, and you're going to need to be doing some kind of physical activity on a regular basis that you have to read their body to be able to improvise, do this one. Have a seat, guys. We're going to open it up to questions.
Now, we can do acting exercises all day long.
All day long. We just pull crap out of our...
But you know, the bottom line of all of this is that they are tools that we use to construct the bits like beats. You know, just like... What? Oh. Damn. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our...
Utilizing it in a sentence is all.
It's already called.
Let's open it up to Walter.
You guys were doing a comedy hour?
Yeah.
for a whole hour in here?
So we were actually funny.
Quit reading!
Was that real? So we were about to start fielding questions about acting in general. So now we have Walter Jones. He's funny. You want to stick around for the panel? You gonna crash the panel?
I'm gonna sit right here.
I think he did. He already crashed it.
You're gonna crash it. Consider it crash it. So, questions, comments about anything? Yeah.
Good places to find some of these kind of acting exercises.
Many books.
Yeah.
Or take a beginning acting class at school.
Acting improvs are all over the place. These days, it's become a staple for actors, and we're talking like method actors. Method actors are the ones that really are the introverted. Oh, feel my pain. I'm a twisted person, so I'll be interesting to watch on stage for some reason. They actually do start with improv classes, and it's a necessary component of every actor's toolbox to have a book full of improv exercises. Hey, if you cannot play, you cannot act.
Hey, are there any unapologetic method actors in this room?
You're not loud.
Thank you.
In my opinion, method acting is wonderful when it works. But when it doesn't work, we're like, you know, because if I gotta go somewhere, I'm gonna build a bridge, I'm not gonna meditate until my tears form it from my own fear.
And as you saw, you guys, the purpose of method acting is that you get something that's real and organic.
Which is awesome.
It's
but you know
awesome
when it's on.
when it's on. But as you saw with our little drill with the fat skinny guy, you can get real stuff quickly. All you gotta do is know what you want, put the proper obstacle, and really try to overcome it. Again, you want me to do what? Touch his... My obstacle now is my fear of his butt. Overcome the fear, overcome the fear, overcome the fear, overcome the fear. Ah! It's actually very enjoyable. But improv groups are popping up all across the country, and those are great places to get started with your comedy.
Well, thanks for listening to our diatribe about technical acting. Any other questions we can help you with? Yes.
Did you two know each other before you guys got working Power Rangers?
Nope.
Nope, not at all. No, we had the same vernacular. We did theater for a long time. We did comedy theater.
So in that sense, we did. And that's why it worked so well when we first got together. Because, I mean, I looked at his resume and I was like, this is my dude. This is my dude, we're on.
So the first thing that we did together, you know, the first thing we did, like, you know, you talk about, you think about Hollywood callbacks and screen tests, makeup tests. First thing we did together, we rehearsed. That was the very first thing we said. Paulie says, hey, you got those sides? Yeah, I got them. They're not very good, are they? No, they're terrible. Let's see what we can do with them. And then we rehearsed for about 3 hours, okay? That's the first thing we did. You start with it. You don't think it's going to come out of nowhere. And that rehearsing is sometimes played, experimented.
Can I show you some Vulcan skull?
Yeah.
So here's the scene. You and I, we were walking into the juice bar on one of the first MNPR episodes, and we're all punked out. And our big beat that we work at is that we're going to take our sunglasses off.
Oh, yeah.
As a precursor to the, we're going to take our glasses off and check out the dorks as the precursor, right? So Walter, why don't you give us an action call?
Ready. Action.
Books and dweebs.
Yeah, books and dweebs. Hey, check out the dark in this hot hip keto.
Hey, moron.
Yeah, hey, moron.
You want to teach me some dance moves? Because I think I might be able to take you.
You better think again.
Wait, what? Wait,
I think you might have won.
That's the first time we ever did that.
Thanks, Walter. So when we would set up these bits, we would be working out the beats. We would say, okay, it's 4 steps in, take the look, with the glasses, pan the room, stash the glasses, take to each other. And if we can't see each other, we would do a breath cue or a touch cue for the next move, for the next beat. So So these are all tools that you can use when, especially if you're working a company or ensemble, when you have time together. So, who in here is a professional actor? Any of you? Yes, that's awesome. That's good. How many of you want to be a professional? Who wants to react? So we have one unapologetic mental method actor. Improv is good. Any questions, anyone?
I teach theater to children, and we do a lot of the improv games, but it's really hard to get them to understand that they're not going, and you don't want to crash their dreams and tell them,
Right.
but it's really hard to get them to understand that they're not going to be the next Hannah Montana.
Well, that's the thing.
Why not?
Yeah.
No, it's not that. It's not crashing their dreams. It's not. It's, they don't want to learn. They think it's going to be instantaneous.
Well, welcome to America.
And I guess what is catching and explaining, how the process actually works. And there is a process.
And here's the thing. Some people are always saying, "Hey, I want to be an actor. How do I start?" My first question is, why? I mean, what the hell is so great about it? I mean, what is the reason you want to do it? Well, why did you get involved in acting? We'll come back to you, Polly. Why did you start acting?
Probably similar to Walt. You're born with a certain face, and people tell you every day when you live in California, man, you should be doing. So it wasn't really something I did myself. Other people were like, dude, come on,
Yeah.
get an agent.
Like anything in the world, you fall into it. And some of us in acting, they find themselves. They find they weren't good at something else. They needed a means of expression, and that's why they do it. Well, in your case, I'd say teach the kids the process is cool. Process. And they will get good. I've had a kid that for my children's theater, just a couple years ago, she was the girl that was in True Grit. She got nominated for an Oscar. How? Because she got involved, like she was, girl number 3 in the chorus, and the next year she's on True Grit. Why? She loved the process. The process was cool, and because she got good at the process, well, behold, she's an Oscar winner,
I think that you have to also, as an educator, you have to frame this for them. The more you put it in terms of Hannah Montana and shows that they like, because that's irrelevant to what you're doing with them acting-wise. Process is what's important. Don't use examples from mainstream media.
And that's the thing. I don't like using them because I'm not a mainstream media kind of person.
Do the kids bring them up?
The kids are the ones who bring them up. That's the reason why I actually have to watch it, so I can actually know what they're talking about. Or be the 27-year-old funky teacher that's there to, I remember when I was watching the good TV show.
Mama bread used to be a nickel too. Look, you've got a cultural issue, and you're growing up, and you know where this ends for you? Get off my lawn. and for us too, because look at the YouTube, right? It's all about you too, right? It's the shut up, it's me show.
You're gonna be famous without working too.
Right.
Hey, why don't we do this? Why don't we do a lightning round of questions because we're starting to get towards the end of it.
All right, let's go. Anyone? What's up? Yes, we know. Yeah, we know. Yes, we watched. They wouldn't let us see Zoo Ranger until about 6 months into our shoot, right? Yeah. So yeah, we did. What's up?
Did you have fun doing your first movie? First movie that I watched?
Yeah, man.
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers?
Yeah, the one where we jump out of the airplane?
No, the one where you take the breadsticks and you run.
Just say yes.
You remember the movie where I had white hair and I talked about Arnold Schwarzenegger? Breadsticks? Breadsticks.
Giant loaf of bread.
Oh. What? Oh, you talking about Samurai? Oh, okay. Yes, I have fun, of course. Yes.
Did you guys ever prank any of the cast members?
Yes, we did. Come on, that was our hobby, Yes, we pranked each other always in horrible, horrible ways. The one that we will say, because it's PG, is the time that we stole all of Catherine Sutherland's furniture and put it in our dressing room. She walks in, I think it was her pants, on a hanger.
One time in the 3rd season reason, we wanted a vacation so badly that we took black marker and we drew a vacation on the walls in the town hallway. Tropical trees, a little swimming pool, a boat, and then the producer walked in and he was like, Jonathan, next thing, us being handed 2 cans of white paint. And then there was a time that we decided that Amy Jo needed to see swords poke through her dressing room wall.
Oh, yeah.
While she was doing her hair.
Okay, first in the morning, because she...
And all you heard was... Cut to us, spackle.
It's the walls, huh? Yes.
Who, back there, you can hold.
What's that biggest comedy insult?
Shakespeare. Shakespeare, because all the gags are in it. Every gag is in it.
Don't blow your joke.
What biggest comedy influence?
Influence. Oh, that's a tough one. I think Steve Martin when I was really young, and then Laurel and Hardy, of course. Three Stooges got on my DNA, my sugar bumps in the morning, for God's sakes. Yeah, and those slapstick guys. My dad was a huge fan of those old silent and early motion pictures.
Like, I didn't really become a student of physical comedy until I realized that I was actually going to be this type, you know? I mean, even before I started acting professionally when I was in college, I started getting all the roles for this body shape. All right. And that's when it became perfect, and that's why kind of Shakespeare kind of is the dominant influence for me.
And I always said this, Paulie's a big guy, but he moves better than I do, you know? And you'll find that in all these both fat and skinny guy routines, the fat guy is usually like the most graceful person out there. Oliver Hardy was supposed to be like he's a great dancer, like the lightest man on his feet that you meet until you met Walter Jones. That's another one right there.
Did either of you take Jason Dick's break in a fight?
Oh, yeah!
Next! There's only one, it's the Indiana Jones way.
I went to Franklin and Marshall for my bachelor's, and then Mary Baldwin for my Master of Letters, and then UC Santa Barbara for my PhD.
I went to Pierce Junior College before I got a job as a professional actor and said, later.
Actually, I will say this, I was at Lee Strasberg Institute, which is the heavy method school, when I got Power Rangers, which, yeah. That worked out. Questions? Oh, 2 guys over there.
I suppose excuse me, I don't know the actor's name, but the guy who played Spike in Samurai.
Phillips Ryan.
Phillips Ryan. He, how did you find a guy that looked just like Skull and moved like that was really amazing. I was like that. I fully believe that was his son.
Felix is a good actor too. I mean, Felix, went there and did it. So I mean, casting, in casting, the thing goes out over the wires or the breakdowns. Every casting agent is a look at those and says, "Oh, I have a guy that fits this role," and then tries to get with the casting director to make an appointment. And then you get a call from the agent to show up at 3 o'clock at X dress, and if you're gnarly or you're locking in, you make it.
And I will say this too, we did work with Felix, secretly. Paulie said, "Hey dude, you work with young people, there's this kid, I want you to know the guy, first of all, I want to know the guy, let's do some acting." That's exactly what we did. We did acting exercises, we did mirror exercises.
In my yard.
In his yard, with my gum, and then the 3 of us did, you know what mirror exercises is, where 2 people face each other and the one guy has to do exactly what the other person is doing without staring at him, but like in his periphery, what he's doing. In a manner that doesn't try to screw him up. Because he won't be able to, we did 3-way mirror exercises so we could all figure each other out.
That's hard. 3-way is like
Really hard.
It's really bizarre.
Really hard.
Only you're like the one
And we chewed a lot of gum together. Yes, you.
Because you were cast as sort of the anti-hero / bully, did you have any negative reactions from younger fans?
Oh, of course. I got kicked in the shins a lot. Early years. No one of the characters kind of changed into like buffoonish protagonists, it was much better. Because then people just said, oh, there's that idiot. Way better. It's awesome.
So, next, right there.
Was there any difficulty going from acting in, like on stage and theater than acting on film?
Oh, yeah, there's an adjustment. But it's a matter of scale. It's where you're directed. When I say directed, it's remember when we did the buddy thing. Buddy! They were other directed to one another. On screen, you're other directed much closer. You know, so it's a matter of scale. People say they're not entirely transferable. I think good acting is always good acting. But if you watch a bad theater actor on film, in a movie theater, remember Kenneth Branagh's Hamlet? Every time Laertes would come on stage, we're up in the front row, and every time he'd come on screen, you'd be like, oh God, he's mugging! My lord! We used to try to, people way the hell back down, my lord, I want you to understand! And we'd like, oh God, please step back.
Yeah, it's the politics of scale.
Yeah. But as you see, guys, just so you know, a lot of theaters these days have this kind of intimacy because they realize this is much cooler than this. Can you hear me back there? No, this is much more fun. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hey, dude, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yeah, you can! We may have time maybe for one or two more.
That unlike Los Angeles, where the oldest thing is a Kmart, we got some real pre-American history here. Yeah, hey, you know what North America was called before it was called North America?
No,
it was called home! It was called home before you took it. White guilt, think about it.
We'll give you Texas back, but we will not give you Louisiana. I think we got time for like one more.
Okay, last one.
Yeah.
So what was it like coming back to Samurai after so many years of Power Rangers?
Return to arms. A lot of the original crew was there, and I love them. And I was very glad to finish the Super F Samurai season with a very poignant final episode with a very rich Eugene Sullivan.
Yes.